Yo, what's up, guys? Joker going over the 3.18 Path of Exile Sentinel League announcement that we received today. This is going to be a very high level video just because of the fact that there's a lot of stuff that's actually getting added that I want to go over. So, I'm going to be chopping this into several videos just because I don't want to have a 45-minute video. I mean, like, to go ahead and give like a brief overview, like, see. This is all stuff that I want to talk about that's in it. And if I go over each of those individually, it's going to take quite a while, right? So my light also went out. So I'm mainly working with my face cam light. Hopefully it does all right. It's trying to do like the most. Oh, sorry about that. So let's jump right into it. Path of Exile Sentinel, they're giving us the Challenge League. 20 new Atlas passive keystones, 7 new boss fights, new uniques that are like in-game uniques, revamped monster mods, gamer control, quality of life, and they're revamping the challenge system, right? So high level, that's everything they're adding in this league. Obviously, you can tell that that's quite a lot, so that's why I'm having to chop this up. So let's jump right into it. So the challenge league itself, there's going to be 3 type of sentinels that follow you around. There is going to be the Pandemonium, there is going to be the Stalker, and there is going to be the Apex. You go ahead and you pick these up, you throw them in a locker, and then you take them out when you want to use them. Apart from that, you fuse them together in different ways to get additional benefits. Kind of think of using like an Awakener's orb on 2 items. You like smash them together. I mean, or I guess synthesizing 2 items, you smash them together. That's high level what the league mechanic seems like it's going to do. On top of that, each one of the Sentinels does something different. So the Apex Sentinel is going to augment rare or unique monsters. So it's going to empower 5 rare unique mobs. In this example, right, of this one, the Stalker Sentinel is going to be going ahead and empowering a certain amount of monsters. So this is going to empower 30 different monsters. And then with this, the Pandemonium Sentinel, that's going to be shooting and hitting an entire group at once, right? So instead of empowering 30 mobs, if there's a screen of mobs, this is going to empower that entire screen of mobs. So this can get you KO'd probably pretty easily. If there is like, if you're running like a juiced map and you're not really like ready for those juice maps. So yeah, that's essentially 1 buff rares, 1 buff certain types of mobs, and 1 buff certain packs of mobs. Apart from that, this looks like the Scourge Atlas little passive thingy, where as you make progress, you get to add nodes, make the different types of things stronger. That's essentially same thing as Scourge, if you remember that, right? The more juice you get, the more points you unlock, the more points you're able to put in this League Atlas tree. That's what I'm thinking of it like, because that's what it seems most similar to. These are free to respec, Chris said, so you can mess around with this as much as you want. They don't have a currency for changing these. This is going to be kind of that Awakeners orb synthesis thing that I was mentioning, where you're going to be fusing 2 things together. So you're going to have several different types of currencies. You're going to have a power orb that pretty much it's pretty much an Awakener's orb or like a synthesized item. You slam 2 items together, right? Next thing is going to be a transforming orb. It's pretty much Awakener's orb, but plus like you're hitting it with a mythic or chance orb, right? Because you're going to fuse them together, but it has a chance to go to a special base type. I'm assuming that means the unique base types. So like a chance or mythic orb, right? Amplifying core is going to go ahead and be like an Awakener's orb plus the Maven orb or orb of conflict, right? It's going to upgrade one of the mods. It has a chance of upgrading one of the mods in addition to slamming them together. The Og Orb is pretty much the slamming to them together, and then has a higher chance for new random modifiers. So it's pretty much like slamming them together with an Awakener's Orb and then Exalt slamming. These are obviously broad terms that I figured out were somewhat similar with when I was reading them. I may be wrong once we start using them, but from what I'm reading, I believe that's how it's going to work like, right? Next thing we got is going to just be a Stalker Sentinel again. Yeah, that's just going over essentially the mods that it can get, right? Where it's like additional aggro radius, empowered enemies have currency rewards, right? So 27% for it to be doubled. So just showing some of the reward modifiers, explicits that you can get on these. Apart from that, these are going to be unique sentinels that you can get. This is why I was thinking that that one orb works like a mythic orb, is it's going to transform it into one of these, right? Or have the chance to transform it to one of these. So we got the Cosmic Apex Sentinel, which pretty much turns a map boss into a loot pinata. We have the Basilisk, which is going to be pretty much defensive, right? If let's say you're running like beyond or double beyond and you're not able to do that, then you would go ahead and drop this probably at the start of the map. And let's say you're trying to get like headhunter buffs, right? You're going to drop this. That way the mobs just stand there and you're able to not have to worry about dying while collecting your buffs pretty much. And then the Ancient Stalker is literally a second headhunter. So 60-second duration, and it is a headhunter. So and that's going to be really good because this is going to stack with your headhunter. So if you have a headhunter and this on top of like inspired learnings, your character is going to be like zooming through maps. That 60-second timer is probably going to be long enough to clear a map. Yeah, to clear a map. So next thing is going to be essentially synthesis. From what I'm understanding, you're slamming together 3 different items. Now there's armor recombinators, there's weapon recombinators, and there's jewelry recombinators. Obviously these things do exactly what they say. You slam together 2 pieces of armor, 2 pieces of jewelry, 2 weapons, and it's going to randomize it. I did not play synthesis, so I don't know if this is like a complete reroll, but that's essentially what it's seeming like, right? Is like synthesis. Because if you look here, 100% global defenses as like a fractured mod, right? So I feel like it is going to be like that, where essentially you slam 2 items, it has a chance getting a fractured synthesized mod, and then you're able to go ahead and re-roll it. However, now the interesting thing about this is it allows you to still craft with like the Eldritch currencies to go ahead and help you out that way. So that's really good if you do like boots, gloves, helmets, and you're able to get some of these higher level mods, but then you use the Eldritch currency to kind of meta craft it better, to be like, okay, well, that gave me a really good suffix. I'm going to go ahead, wipe off all my prefixes, stuff like that, because Eldritch currency is going to be way more common this league. From the way they said it, that's my take. So they added, like I said, 20 new keystones. From what I've seen about 13, I believe. I saw pictures of 7, and then I saw where they added groups of keystones that pretty much block out entire mechanics that you don't want to do. It's like blocks Legion, but everything else has an increased chance. Once again, like I said, this is going to be really high level because there's too much for me to go over in a decent amount of time. That's why I'm kind of like speed running some of the stuff. So with the 7 new pinnacle boss fights, it's essentially all the end game bosses: Uber Elder, Shaper, Eater of Worlds, Searing Exarch, Maven. Oh, you know what I just noticed? They didn't do anything to Elder. I mean, I guess because Uber Elder is the Uber Elder. So, so yeah, They bumped up all those and they added additional rewards. They added Awakened Empowers, Enlightens, and Enhances, as well as a new Thread of Hope and a new Keystone, which I believe is going to be one for each class. So they're going to be giving us pretty much a new Keystone for every of the classes. So, and that's going to be interesting to see what those new passives do for us. We should have like about like 9 new skills, right? 9 new passives because of these, because one for each class. Apart from that, we have the rewards for the races, and these are new uniques. So while I was going through them, once I found out Lighty made most of these, I started laughing because they seem like something he would make, right? Uh, while I was just reading them. But then when like I heard in the video that they were the rewards that Lighty designed, I'm like, okay, that makes sense, right? So let's go over them. So Burden of Truth is essentially going to be a tanky hybrid belt. Echoes of Creation is going to be either cast win damage taken helm or like a war cry helm. Reason why I say cast win damage taken is when you attack, take 15% of life as physical damage for each war cry exerting your attack, right? So you may be able to do some cheeky cast win damage taken with that, depending on like certain things, right? I don't use war cries normally, so I don't have that much experience with exerted attacks because slams suck. And that's mainly what you exerted. The Eternal Struggle is pretty much you either get 15% calling or a defensive buff depending on who drops it. If it's the Eater of the World or Searing Exarch, whichever one of them drops it is going to be which one's dominant. I thought we were going to be able to re-roll these with currency, but it seems like not, which makes sense now that I'm saying that because we haven't been able to do that. But yeah, so if you get really good implicits on this, then you can probably make bank from these amulets because the additional effects are just that strong. So this gives another amulet to compete with Ashes of the Stars and Crystallized Omniscience. Next thing is Call of the Void. It's a self-chill ring, essentially. That's pretty much what it is. No matter how you look at it, this is a self-chill ring. So apart from that, it's going to be pretty much a jewel that counts as kind of like an intuitive leap, right? Except for from that point. So this says points in the radius of Wicked Ward can be allocated on your tree. I have POB pulled up as an example. You would socket it in a jewel socket and then Wicked Ward would light up. You would go ahead and have a ring, kind of like an intuitive leap or a thread of hope, and you'd be able to go ahead and select the nodes without having it connected to your tree. This is going to be so crazy for a lot of people and adding a lot of value to things like voices, I think, because jewel sockets are just going to be so strong now that anything that gives you extra jewel sockets is going to be pretty OP. So pathing to jewel sockets is going to be more of a niche than it already was because jewels were already insane. So this is just adding another insane jewel. That's pretty much it. I'm sorry I sped. Oh, actually, no, that's not pretty much it. There's one more thing I want to go over. They reworked rare oh my Jesus, I am so sorry. They reworked rare monster mods. So essentially the arch nemesis mods are now the rare mods. So Headhunter is going to be fucking crazy this league because you're going to be stealing arch nemesis mods. And if you remember, those arch nemesis mobs could be crazy. So you're going to have so much power with a headhunter. I think that's why they gave us the Sentinel that is a headhunter for the people that can't afford a headhunter. Just buy a couple of those. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Apart from that, it's controller support, some quality of life shit, and they reworked. They're making challenges harder. That's pretty much everything besides the supporter pack. So I'm sorry, it's 14 minutes. That's literally me speed running everything that I could just to give you guys a TLDR of what happened with this announcement. Like I said, I'm going to be making several other videos chopping this up, going over the things more individually, and giving my opinions on certain things, as well as other things that I wasn't able to mention in this video. Apart from that, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you like the content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me how you feel about the Challenge League, about the changes, and what's up. And don't forget to stay tuned for like my upcoming videos. I'm going to throw out a video on like all my opinions on the stuff that's changing League Start, just because nothing's changed. My opinion on that, as well as my video with links, macros, websites to help you make sure you have all your extensions for the League Start coming up, right? So you have all this stuff already downloaded. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And until next time, take care.